Welcome back, everyone, to our thoughts on video on healing. Yes, what a topic.
Mhm. Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us on this new episode. If you haven't watched the video on the healing, you can click on the link. So, Leo, what are your thoughts on the channeling on healing?
I think it is, I think it's sort of another word or not another way of viewing resting. I think, yes, I think when they speak of healing, really what I felt was resting, the resting frequency, and really letting things settle, letting things spread out, absorbing the love light frequencies. And I feel it's a part of the ebb and flow where, as they say, as we live our day to day, there's some energy that builds up. And so as it does, it's important for us going forward to build up a sort of routine where we are rhythmically, routinely getting the energy moving and pumping. And I think the healing frequency or the very ah the sort of frequency is a part of this ebb and flow, and it is very much, I think, needed in our world right now because so much of us are very just about it, and whether we're go-getters, which is great, but I think we can overdo that and we could overstimulate ourselves in that way, as well as there are those of us that have grown a little more stagnant, and some may say lazy, but I think really more importantly, it's that we've built up a lot of stagnant energies, so our body just doesn't want to move, and we don't really want to do things because there's so much life and energy built up around and within us. It's quite hard to actually move. And so I think this is where this healing, restful frequency is really comes into play and is very important.
As for me, thank you, Leo, for your insights. As for me, I was surprised of Ra's um, suggestion to to say or to pronounce a healing kind of healing meditation or to do a kind of healing a group healing session, I would say. I was very surprised, and me as Caroline, when Ra was saying that we would that they would I don't know, organize a healing um, session. Me as Caroline, I was wondering what they had in mind. You know, I didn't know what they would wish to say or wish to what they would wish to do or um but it went yes, indeed, very smoothly. And my bigger take in that in our co-channeling is that these these ease frequencies are at a certain frequency band that are, according to Ashtar, very large, and that we need to take ourselves out of them, out of this frequency range, frequency band, or and um, and I think that yes, if we manage to, indeed, maybe yeah, maybe some of us we need to adjust the way we eat, the way we drink, maybe to incorporate more fresh fruits or vegetables, or maybe also to be able to walk or to move or because the exercise is also very important, but also to stay in a state of mind that is at least neutral. And if we can, to be as joyful as we can and as positive and but of course it's not easy. And it requires indeed a kind of mindset or mind training to manage to put ourselves together in order not to be depressed because when we are when we experience a very difficult sickness and we some of us may have experienced being shocked by an announce um, of sickness, then yes, it is shaking us, shaking everything. And and yes, it is also, as Ashtar said, a kind of call to action to readjust, reassess our lives, to change it, and to change it for the best. Um, so yes, it was indeed very yes, very very interesting.
Yeah, and I agree. The part about disconnecting or disentangling yourself or really harmonizing these frequency bands that are more agitated and stressful and forceful. I think this is really, really important. And I think the whole the healing practice of just relaxing and releasing, this is a really important part of of sort of disembarking from this agitated frequency band. Because I found that when we just if we were to just spend some time, and it could be, you know, a few minutes, a few, maybe 30 minutes, maybe even a few hours for some. And that was the case for me at times, of just purely resting and just relaxing and releasing. And so um Caroline and I, we use at times a foam roller, and we lay on it to just really let our body stretch out and relax. And I found that to be extremely helpful in relaxing and releasing and really healing and getting the energy flowing again. And I think the more we just relax and release, we will eventually release from the frequency band that we're speaking of entirely. However, I do feel that there's also a way to sort of speed up the process, you could say. And this is where the joy frequency comes in, because the quality of the characteristics of the joy frequency, it's a highly pressurized, in other words, a highly powerful way to redirect the energies. And so one may find, if you were to squeeze in some joy, whether it's like a yay sort of way, you'll find that your body naturally pressurizes and squeezes. Usually your core and your body begins to pressurize, and you begin to create a sort of spring-like pump action. This really begins to get the energy moving, get the healing flow returning. And so I feel like this is also a big part of the equation. However, what I've felt in my personal experience is relaxing and releasing first is a good rule of thumb, because that really allows us the space to begin to squeeze in the joy. I found that if just right off the bat, I wake up and I'm all sort of still in this state, and I try to squeeze in the joy, it is quite uncomfortable, because it's like there's already a lot of energy that I haven't processed throughout the night. And when I woke up, I'm stagnated. So there's stagnant energy that's built up. And then on top of that, I try to squeeze in more joy. I feel it can add a little fuel to the fire. So I found that first is to relax and release, spread out this piled up energy that we've accumulated. And then we can really begin to squeeze more lovingly, squeeze more joyfully, pressurize in that light, love and light. And I find that we can really begin to move the energies very powerfully.
Yeah, and it depends also on, as you say, on the part of the day. And yeah, I think that sometimes there are times where we actually are willing, you know, to maybe to dance or to jump, depending on how we feel, and that there are times where we might be stressed because of some I don't know, test results, or then the meditation can also be indeed very very important to stay as calm as possible and to be able to uh, disengage from the results, but be in a more stable place where we can after that, yeah, focus on something positive and um, So yes, this I think this healing process is also is a lot about being in those waves, where sometimes you might feel better, sometimes you feel completely down. You want to feel better, and you're down again. And so this is really about stabilizing us in a better place, in a better um, shape, of course. And and yeah, indeed, and the mind is also, yes, very, very important, because if we are depressed and depressed and depressed, of course it won't help us in the healing process. And so the mind is very important, indeed. Yeah.
Yes, I agree. And really, I feel the and what they were speaking about in this channeling was the frequencies. So the experiences, the states that we're in. This is really important, and using our mind to become aware of, how are we actually feeling in this moment and what are we really experiencing? Because I do feel when there is an extra emphasis placed on the mind, it can lead people to be, including myself, to be a little too heady, a little too, a little too heady, a little too in the theory and the logic. And I think then it's easy to forget about the experience of it all and how we can actually get lost in the mind a bit, and we don't really experience the lightness or the vibrancy. And so I think this is important, that yes, we should become aware of our thoughts, and also I think more importantly, become aware of how are we feeling, because I think it is easy to trick ourselves into thinking, oh yes, I'm thinking great thoughts. I'm vibrant. In other words, we can say I am vibrant. I am unlimited. But I feel like there's a very limit to the experience you are having if you are just thinking and saying it in this way. So it is really about what frequency are we what are we experiencing? What state are we in? And this will help us navigate, I feel, our healing journeys.
Mhm. Yes, and I just want to share a little story with all of you. I have a friend called Mary, and so Mary had a breast cancer when she was 30 and so years old, maybe 35, let's say 35. And so she, of course, she was very surprised, and then she went to receive the therapy, and so as she was in the hospital, she could feel that, and she could see that everybody was very depressed and very also terrorized, and in a very um, yeah, in not the best mood, I would say, which is absolutely understandable. And she decided to bring each time that she would go to the hospital a very, very fun book. And so she had many, many books of, people who have a great sense of humor. And she was reading all those books and she was laughing. And so each time she went to the hospital to receive treatments, she was laughing out loud, and she was, yeah, it was hilarious. Sorry for her. And people around her were surprised, because they were asking, yeah, but you don't suffer, you don't have anything. And she had breast cancer, and so while receiving the treatment, she was very willing to keep her vibrations as high as possible, and to be experiencing the joy no matter what. And so, yeah, she read many, many very fun books. She laughed a lot, and today she's cured and she's in perfect health, and I'm very, very happy for her. So yes, this is a way to illustrate the joy frequency. Um, yes.
Yes, that's a beautiful, beautiful story. Thank you for sharing.
Mhm. You're welcome. Would
Yeah.
you like to add something else, Leo?
I think I'm good for now. Oh, I will actually add, for those who wish to hear and see more testimonials of self-healing, I encourage you all to visit Joe Dispenza's YouTube channel. He has many testimonials up there in people who've healed themselves through people who've healed themselves, and they journey they describe their journey and their process. So I encourage everyone to look into this and to look into Joe Dispenza if you haven't already as well. He's a great spiritual teacher that uses the language of science to really to sort of prove really the existence of our spiritual self, our spiritual reality that is here and present. And so, yes, very a wealth of a treasure trove of wealth, I feel. Yes.
Yeah, thank you. So
You
yes,
have any
so
last?
thank you all for watching our thoughts on this code channeling. And again, if you are in pain and suffering, know that we are here and we are all sending you very good vibes as well. And as our guide said, you can still come back to the channeling and receive the healing vibrations that Ashtar and Ra sent. There are also on YouTube many videos of healings, but also on vibrations, on sound and music. So you can also tune on those videos. I'm sure they will be very helpful as well.
Yes. Thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you at the next one.
Yes. See you.